What's up? I'm Patrick and welcome to ISW Reacts. Today I'm reacting to Curve Horror Head. This was requested by Motomag. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. He wrote that building on the technique of guitar gliding pioneered by My Bloody Valentine, Curve injects a healthy dose of reverse reverb to create a sonic blizzard. Layer on the luscious vocals of Tony Holiday and you have one of the great shoegaze bands of the 90s. He also explains gliding as a guitar technique where the player strums while holding the whammy bar, creating waves of sound, and the shoegaze genre as a genre of electric guitar music, so named because of the tendency for the player to look down at his effect boards as if he or she was staring at his or her feet. I've heard of the term shoegaze. I've also read the name My Bloody Valentine, even if I also haven't heard any song by them, but I've never heard anything about or by Curve, so I'm really excited. This sounds very interesting. If you want to be like Motomag and support me and my channel, you can check out my Buy Me a Coffee page where you can request songs, or you can check out my Patreon where you can find some exclusive content and other things. The links are in the description if you're interested. Thank you very much. Before we start, please also leave a like, consider subscribing, and now let's just get into it. Interesting. Such a unique atmosphere. Nice change of the delivery on how she sings. It's happening a lot in the music and in the video. I really like the guitar in this part. fade out. This was so interesting. I've never heard anything like this. It took me a moment to get into the vibe, but once I got used to it, I really liked it. I think there was a lot of stuff going on, not just in the video, that's pretty trippy, but also in the music. But a lot of cool stuff and a lot of things I really liked. I think overall it's very atmospheric, but there are, I don't know, different atmospheres, and I couldn't really put my finger on it, or how to describe it. It's definitely kind of dark. It's also very hypnotic, if you can say it like that. It's also feeling kind of unsettling, but at the same time oddly danceable, while especially through the vocal delivery it's also kind of sensual, but also feeling a little dangerous. So just a lot of different vibes combined into one song, which is very interesting and pretty impressive. Of course, one very noticeable thing and one main thing about the song are the guitars, which Motomac already introduced like that. Like he said, there were a lot of effects also on the guitars. Most of the time it's pretty heavily distorted and fuzzy. There are also lots of layers. Sometimes it's more of a wall of sound that the guitar creates than just like a single distinct melody or riff. So the whole texture kind of matters more than like one melody. Sometimes I feel like there was so much going on in the guitar work that it's even hard to really figure out what exactly is happening. Kind of blurring the line between harmonies and I don't know, noise sounds so negative. I don't mean it in any negative way. I hope you know what I mean. It's just this big soundscape, and I mean that's the atmosphere and the mood and the vibe they are aiming for, and they are creating that. So noise is not meant in a bad way, but it's just so much mixed that it's hard to put a finger on a single thing that's going on in some passages. Then there's this steady, repetitive groove by the percussion, which definitely adds to this hypnotic feeling that I've mentioned. I feel like the sound of the percussion and the way it's included in here might still have like some, or sounds like it might have some influences from the 80s. Motomac said it's a band from the 90s, and I think the description says in the first line something like 1992. So I think there might be some influences of the late 80s. At least that's what I get from the sound of the drums and the way it's included in the song. And then there are, of course, the vocals that are very cool and very unique, also very interesting, and also adding to this hypnotic feeling, especially those repeated lines without lyrics, like the haze she sings, are also sometimes leaning in this unsettling atmosphere. But the longer the song went on and the more often those parts were repeated, I think the catchier it got for me. I think it's actually a melody that really sticks with you. Overall, her delivery is like very haunting, I think you can say. Also very atmospheric. She creates a lot of tension by the way she sings. And what I found really cool is the change in the production or in the mixing of the vocals, because it starts and stays, at least for like the first half of the song, that the vocals, I don't know, sound kind of far away with a lot of reverb, creating this haunting ethereal sound. And then There are two parts where the voice suddenly sounds really near, where there's no or at least less reverb in the mix. That definitely changed things up a little bit, and was kind of surprising for me in that moment, and added just another point of different things going on, different things happening in this song. Now you gotta maybe help me out with the meaning of the lyrics a little bit. There are a lot of metaphors, and the way the lyrics are written is very fitting to the mood of the song. I think it's also very tense, and what I get from it is that I think it is about some kind of internal mental conflict with this theme of the horror in my head. Maybe it's also a little bit about exposing their vulnerability and showing their fears. But I don't know if you have any more insights to the meaning. I would love to learn. Like I said, the lyrics seem to be very tense and also kind of unsettling, fitting to the sound. But let me know. Thank you very much, Motomec, for this request. I had a lot of fun diving into something I've never heard before like that. Thanks for introducing me to shoegaze. I think it was very interesting. Like I mentioned a couple of times, it's a new thing for me, and there's a lot of things happening. But I really liked it overall. I think it's a very atmospheric song, very tense, pretty dark, kind of unsettling, but also with like a haunting vocal delivery. And despite this tense and dark atmosphere, it has this hypnotic feeling, and also this steady groove that makes it something you can move to. So that's very interesting. And what's of course also very interesting, besides the vocal performance, also is the guitar work. I think there was a lot going on, a lot of effects, a lot of sounds, some pretty cool riffs. I mentioned it while the song was playing, especially in this kind of chorus section, I would maybe call it, with the hay, the haze. There were some cool riffs, even though it's feeling like it's not purely about riffs or about melodies, but about creating this soundscape, about creating those textures with the guitars, with the effects on the guitars, with maybe some other effects in the production as well. I'm not sure about that, but that's very interesting, and I actually had a lot of fun discovering this new thing for me. Please let me know what other songs by them I should check out, or if you have any other artists you would like me to react to, please also let me know. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like, consider subscribing, and thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.